So firstly, I'd say yes, it is a lot of work, but if it's a subject that you're passionate about and you enjoy what you're studying, then it won't be so bad. As a land deck, I might only have 3 contact hours a day, so I could have a lecture and a supervision, but most of the work comes outside of that. So I would be going over lecture notes, I would be doing recommended reading, I would be preparing essays, I'd be writing essays, I'd be going through supervision work after the supervision. So there's a lot to do, but you've just got to work out for yourself how much you want to do. And there's always more that you could be doing, but as I say, you kind of work out what a good level is for you.
Throughout my first 3 years at Cambridge, I have always found the quantity of work manageable. The challenge I've always found is the quality of work you need to deliver. The amount of thinking that goes into the work has been far more of a challenge than the actual number of hours that you have to spend working, which means that I've had plenty of time to do a lot of things that I find fun at Cambridge as well as work.
As an English student, my workload is slightly different to other subjects. I mean, it varies completely subject to subject, but from my experience, we have fewer contact hours, so fewer compulsory elements, I guess, of teaching, because a lot of it is more independent study, independent reading, so still lots of work, but just in a different way, I guess. Like, we don't have the labs and all that of STEM students. So for my average week in first year, we'd have a weekly essay, so an essay of about 2,000 words on a text, so we'd be spending most of the week working on that. Then there's lectures on weekdays, and maybe about 2 or 3 a day available, but you don't have to go to them by any means. They're not compulsory, and they're not teaching you content in the same way that for other subjects they would be, because although there are some set texts, there's not like set standard teaching on them, since they can be explored in so many different ways. There's also often classes. So for example, in medieval term, there are some texts that you're expected to do translation work on, and to do commentary work on. So we would have classes about once a week as well, in college with your English group. And that kind of stays pretty consistent throughout the 3 years.
So yes, there's definitely time to do things outside of work. Cambridge can be very busy, but you've just got to make time for it, and if you're disciplined with when you start and stop your work, you can fit a lot in our 9-week terms.
Absolutely, there's time at Cambridge to do things other than work. I probably have about 16 contact hours a week, and I spend a similar amount of time, maybe a bit more, working independently. So that leaves plenty more hours in the week for doing extracurriculars and having a lot of downtime as well.
As a first year law student, I found that I have time to do other things than just studying. I think there are a lot more opportunities at Cambridge to get involved in other things than there were at sixth form, for me anyway. There are so many opportunities to pick up a new sport. For example, I've taken up rowing this year. You can get involved in societies. There are so many in Cambridge. For example, I'm part of the Law Society. Then there are always events going on in Cambridge, talks and special guests and seminars and various events on various different topics. There are always things going on in college as well, events, societies, and then you can always have time to hang out with your friends.
There's definitely time in your day, in your week, in your term, in your whole time at Cambridge to be able to do things other than your degree work. Just as some examples, there's loads of sports teams you can get involved with, lots of theatre going on in Cambridge, and especially in Pembroke, we have the Pembroke Players, which is like the largest college-based drama society in Cambridge. And with sports, there's sports at college levels, at university level, so like all abilities really. There's also lots of other societies. There's lots to do with arts, to do with writing, to do with debating, science, bridge, chess. Pretty much, if you can think of it, there'll be a society, and if there's not, you can set up your own. So there's plenty of stuff to be doing. And although like there is a decent amount of work to do, you know, you're still doing a degree, there's still plenty of time to explore your other interests. Yeah.